See if this sounds familiar to you. You've got a work event. It's a social occasion. You don't technically kind of person who wants to show your support and your care for others. So you've already agreed to go, but you're also the kind of person who actually rather be at home after the end of a long day, after a day of being present, being there for people, supporting people, lots of meetings, lots of conversation. You just want to come home and settle in on your couch and grab a blanket and watch some telly or read a book. But it's time to go. It's time to do the event you have to do. This happened to me recently, and I found an approach that actually really worked for me. Not only that evening, showing up for my colleague, but being able to back up the next day with the same level of energy and professionalism that expected. So, what made things work, you ask? Well, actually, it started worse than you would think. I received a phone call just as I was heading out the door, letting me know that an opportunity that I had applied for, I had not received, I had not been successful for. And I was pretty annoyed. I had expected to get that opportunity. I thought I was due, and it didn't. It didn't come. So I'd already planned to walk. Seems like a good idea. So I set out walking, and actually, that amount of time took me about 20 minutes to get there. It gave me the time to process the news that I'd received. Process is a really polite way of talking about having arguments in my head with someone who will never hear the other side of the argument, and then working through it and realizing actually it's okay. Maybe I'm even better off. The thing I had applied for actually felt more like an obligation than something I was really going to enjoy. So it's no loss. So when I got to the bar, I stayed for about 90 minutes. I had three good conversations with people, and then I went. And part of the magic was I had already decided beforehand I don't have to stay all night. I don't have to look out and figure out who's leaving when and when I kind of have tacit permission. I've decided that I'm committing to this social engagement for 90 minutes, and that's what I'm going to do. I said goodbye to two or three people and then went away quietly. So, all of this is to say, it's not a story about my life. This is hopefully a story for you, something that I've found has been helpful, and perhaps it can be helpful for you as well. If you're an introvert, the kind of person who draws energy being alone, but you're also the kind of person who wants to show up and be present and care for people, then you're probably used to these kind of conversations. They're almost survival strategies. Perhaps you've chosen a job to do at the party, or you're almost scanning for the exits, working out how you'll be able to get to them quietly. All these sort of survival strategies. Perhaps you're the person who puts yourself in charge of handing out the drinks or something. So you know you've got something to do. What we often don't talk about in that conversation is the preparation. And what can really help is arriving more mentally prepared. I think one of the things you can do to be kind for yourself is not rush there. Try to leave enough time so that you've had time to process or think during the day. Maybe pick a bench outside, perhaps with the excuse that you're waiting for someone, but just giving yourself a moment to pause before you head in. Going in with perhaps a game plan or even just having shaken off the day that you've had, I will put you in a much better frame of mind to be truly present for the people that you're going to meet. So let's think about presence as a practice. As you know, there's a difference between being there and being truly present for people. And people can really tell the difference and they appreciate the difference. Taking a moment to pause before you go in and think about the kind of conversation gives you the opportunity to be intentional with your time and to recognize you've got an opportunity to make interactions special and make them something that really benefits the other person and hopefully that you enjoy rather than being a duty that it will be almost easy to tell that you're suffering through before you're tacitly allowed to leave. When people go to the effort to plan a function or event, it can be pretty hard when actually almost no one shows up, particularly the people they expected to be there to be supportive or who said that they would be there. And so I think it's worth remembering that if you show up and be truly present, even if it's not for hours on end, but for a period of time, then you've actually shown your support and your care for the host and for the others there that were hoping that people would be there that would be really worth the time and energy that they had spent to come and gather with others. So I've talked a lot about being present for people, but actually there's a real cost if you're the kind of person whose energy is depleted by being with people to having gone to these social functions. So you need to approach it in such a way that you're able to go to work or interact with people the next day without feeling like you have a sort of social hangover. So my rule of thumb is a 90-minute rule. Obviously, it depends on the event that you're showing up for. And in fact, obviously, if it's sort of a work morning tea, it's going to be shorter. But say it's a after hours social event. If we stay for exactly 60 minutes, people will kind of know you set your watch and told yourself that's all you were going to do. For me, 90 minutes is significantly showing up and being present, but it's not staying for so long that I end up with that social hangover. And it means a lot to people. They notice that you were there more than you realize. And the more they get to know you, they realize that the more that you've truly given them, because to stay at any event for a significant time after you've already done your extroverting, your social conversations at work, really does cost you something. So here's the thing about my 90-minute rule. It's not about limiting generosity. It's about making sure that the generosity of your presence is truly sustainable, that you can keep doing it repeatedly, that you can keep showing up for the things that you've agreed to do and make a real impact when you're there. So you're not leaving because you didn't like the event. Often you'll really like the event that you're at, but you're leaving because you need to take care of yourself and show up fully present the next day. One of the advantages of having this rule, a like rule like this is often called a heuristic, is that then you don't have to constantly think about it. What can happen in social situations where we're trying to navigate a set of rules that are actually unwritten is we keep constantly questioning and asking ourselves what's appropriate? What should we be going to? What are we allowed to do? So having that 90-minute rule set in advance, and obviously doesn't have to be 90 minutes, but what you come up with will give you some peace to know you've already made a decision and that's what you're going to do. This doesn't mean you can't stay longer. You obviously can, and I really wouldn't advise me leaving mid-conversation or as someone's cutting a cake or something. But having that already settled in your mind will take out a huge piece of anxiety if you're the kind of person for whom a social event can be costly. So showing up and being truly present can be different things. And I'm encouraging you to be truly present for the time that you've worked out that you'll be able to do so well and still be able to meet your obligations the next day. Showing up really matters. It matters to people and it matters to our ability to care for people and to have influence in the world. But staying all night is not required. The couch is at home and it needs some company. You can get back there, enjoy a bit of time to yourself before the next day's obligations begin. Let's decide to leave time for both.